Welcome, 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 everyone, back to another Whispers of Wisdom. I'm joined with Chantel Ochoa as we begin our Whispers of Wisdom on the topic of the hibernation, of the season of change, of bear medicine, all the things.
I love your necklace this morning.
Thank you. This was my grandmother. She loved supporting Native American artists. And when she passed, I received all of her turquoise jewelry, all of her Native American jewelry. So
Nice. That's a nice piece.
it's a really lovely piece.
I don't know if I've ever seen you wear it. Have you?
That's interesting. Yeah, I would assume that you would have at some point. I tend to wear it when I'm
Mhm.
feeling like I need the strength. Like this is a really powerful
Hmm.
energy. Like it's an eagle with her talons out. Like so whenever I'm feeling like I really need to feel stronger, this is this is where I go to.
No, it definitely is. I think it's suited, it's very suited for our conversation this morning.
Totally.
But yeah, we're going to be talking about our current season, our season of where our Earth is, well, at least here in our area of the world, going into the fall season, going within our internal cave, following the example of the bear and its medicine and what we can call forward with that.
Well,
So, how are you feeling as we are diving into this topic? Are you connecting with the fall? And I know that you get a lot of snow where you're at earlier than some of the rest of us. So,
I think that's why I feel really off is because we landed back in Bozeman and it was 70 degrees mid-November.
oh,
This is not
oh,
normal. Like
no.
it's like 55 out right now and this is not normal November weather. We should have 2 inches of snow outside right now. And it's very warm. It's it's unnerving is what it is.
Mm.
So
So you did get snow a couple weeks ago, I remember you saying, right?
we had one day of snow, I think in early October, and
Okay.
then it's been really nice. It's been
Yeah.
unseasonably warm. Like right now I could go out and keep working on the garden. Like it's nice out. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be bear season where all of the bears should be hibernating by now and that and now you still can't walk the trail in the evenings or early morning because the bear is still out.
So they're still out right now.
Yeah, like I would not be on that trail unless it was midday. And then I had like there was enough people and dogs around.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so the weather is so bizarre. So when you brought up this topic as a potential conversation for Whispers of Wisdom, I was like, I need this. Like I need all of this. And I need the weather to change so I can feel it.
Yeah. Well, I've just been having a lot of conversations with people and they're just talking about where they are emotionally and I'm realizing, well, a lot of that is because of where we are, where our seasons are. Because even if Mother Nature's not showing up the way we expect it to energetically, we're still all being pulled into that. And so yeah, definitely having conversations where people are like, man, I just feel like my energy is low. I just want to be home. I want to be cuddled up in a blanket. And our weather is not. We just went through 3 days of beautiful rain. I mean, it just been raining, dumping on us, which we haven't had in a minute. So that was really nice. So it was like became soup season real quick. And no, we are very obviously I'm in a tank top. So we're not we're not full blown like winter or late fall, but for our time of year, yeah, we're definitely not in the current temperature that we typically are as well.
Yeah.
But people are feeling it. And so I just think it's a great reminder and conversation to have so people can tune into where they are. Are they returning to self? Are they going into their inner cave, their inner den to do that introspection where we're being guided to? Or are people still feeling active? And, like you said, you can go garden.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
even the gardening right now, it's like putting things to bed. And that's a
Yes.
very different type of gardening when it's like you've pulled out the old squash plants or you've pulled out the pea pods, or all of the things that were in full vibrancy, and now it's dead, and so you take it out and you put it in the compost, and just that process of, okay, we're intentionally moving the energy around. And then you take your garden beds, and to put them to bed, you might add leaves or compost or straw, and you put them to bed. And it's to
Yeah.
prepare their energy to decompose and re-nitrogen themselves in preparation for the spring. So there's a bit of fall gardening that is very different because it is putting things to sleep,
Yeah.
you
Which
know?
is great symbolically,
Right.
synchronistically, that is where we are. It's like putting it to sleep, putting it to bed. It's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
And that, especially with the shorter days, the longer nights now, like, it's feeling late and it's 5:30 and dark. And
Right.
we go through this every year, but I think we've gotten so detached from our natural like circadian rhythm and connecting with our nature that we don't think about it until somebody mentions it, and it's like, oh yeah, well that makes sense. As the leaves are changing, as the night is getting longer, the day is getting shorter, we too are filling into that. So this isn't really a time for us to be crazy building. It's time for us to be sitting and resting and thinking about how our year has been and where we are currently.
Yeah. And I think people are really definitely feeling that need to go inward. I just attended a cacao ceremony on Saturday, and we got a good, decent crowd. There was probably like 25 of us.
Mm, nice.
And, and everyone was like, I forced myself to come out of my house. I made myself like, I want community, and I haven't left my house in weeks, like that was like the overall sentiment. Like, I'm forcing myself to do this thing to reconnect with people and to feel amongst like-minded people. And it was very much like I haven't been called to that. So it was nice that even if it's just once a month to come and gather together in community, but there is this general sentiment of being quiet and wanting to go inward. And I think that is really a beautiful calling, And I
Hmm.
see that in our students too. I love how our program is set up because it's a calling to, like, the further you go in, it's like you're going deeper and deeper inward. And so I
Hmm.
love the fall cohort because it's like you can see it in them. Like, now they're really ready to do the inner work.
Right. And it is, and then you start seeing like as they're showing up are people like more in cozy clothes and they're snuggled up on their couch versus like the desk where they might have first sat and blankets and all that. I went shopping yesterday and I just bought a bunch of PJs, and I'm not a PJ girl. Like I love whatever I wear, but no, I've been like, I found these really soft ones. And even the lady, when she was checking, she goes, these are really soft. I'm like, yep. And that's my season. That's like literally going to be my season. I'm like, I'm all good for that. Put the fire on, have some nice cozy PJs, and that sounds like a good night.
Right? And I think there's an invitation there of like, this is your season to go inward. What does that look like for you? Does that mean
Mhm.
cozy PJs? Does that mean tea by the fire? Does that mean shoveling your snow? Like, what does that mean for you? Because there's so much introspection possible if we're doing it intentionally.
Yeah, yeah. So, some of the things that I am looking forward to this fall is just to is to do some really strong introspection, which I've already started, but now I'm just feeling that inner pull. And I don't know if it also is coming with, I don't mean age and like you're getting older, but I mean like the wisdom
Mhm.
of aging, the wisdom of learning all of the things that I've learned and I've processed over, the last 5, 6 years and longer. But, and I feel like I really do embrace these cycles in life, these natural cycles versus when I was younger, it was like, no, none of that even registered so much. It was like the knowing of, but nothing. I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to be intentional with this. So I think it's a great invitation for all of us to just tune in and see what it is that we want to bring forward come spring, come summer.
Yeah, right. And
We're starting that process now as we're closing this up. Yeah.
right,
As we're
right.
putting ourselves to bed, so to speak.
Yeah, right. And it's curious to kind of look at where are you at in that process of birth and growth and death and rebirth again. And this is the season to recognize that so much is ready to be composted in your life.
Hmm.
Right. And I think that's the like whether it's my actual physical garden or what's going on in my life that I'm ready to release, just like the leaves of a tree fall away, like what am I really holding on to that I don't want to anymore? And it's sometimes it's simple acts. Like I'm going through, like here in Montana, you have two sets of clothing. Like I won't need any summer clothes for the next probably 7 months. Like not necessary. So I put them away. But every time I do put them away, I go through each piece and go, is this something that resonates who I am? Is this something that brings me joy? Or is this something I didn't wear this whole entire past season and I'm ready to let it go? Right.
Hmm.
So it's kind of that evaluation in many aspects of your life, like whether it's your closet or your job situation or parts of yourself that are like, wow, I'm really been holding on to this limiting belief. And now I'm finally ready to go inward and evaluate and go, how is this serving me? What's the benefit of this limiting belief? What am I gaining from this? And is it true? Can I let it go? What and so just that wisdom of reflection and taking the time to reflect, do the journaling, to do your journeying work, whatever it may be, is so supportive in this season of like we're not going out as much, and so there is that physicality of yeah, I probably will be home doing lots of baking and nourishing of my den, the bear's den.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And yeah, I like that was last night making soup and stuff like that. I came home, I had class on Saturday and I got home and I was expecting soup because he was home and it was raining and he made something else and I was like, "Oh, I figured you'd make soup." And he goes, "Oh, that sounds so good." And I'm like, "Oh, it's all good, whatever we're eating." But so yesterday I did that and we went out for a little bit and both of us when we got out, we were like, "Okay, we're ready just to go home."
Mhm.
And there is that, like you're saying, that death and rebirth, that cycle that we're all going through, that self-evaluation right now of what is serving me and what isn't serving me. And so this is that time to be able to bury what doesn't serve and let it go and release it and compost it, burn it, whatever, right? Is to have those rituals with self, whether it's just a verbal contract with yourself, you're setting your own guidelines and boundaries or whatever, or you're just in sense of releasing people and things, or you're standing in your own like, okay, I want to nourish that. So let's go ahead and keep that going and nourish it how it needs it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So how for you do you see bear wisdom show up in your life in other ways? Or what does bear wisdom
Um,
mean to you?
To me, it means the packing of like, how he's always in search of food and out and lumbering in the woods. And then I feel like there's just this natural call to go within that sleeping of hibernation. And I mean, bear sleeps for like what, 4 months? 5 months or something, which I think is so crazy. But so definitely it's knowing to follow the tracks of that and what are the animals doing? What are they naturally doing? Like here, I don't have bears in my town, my area like you do, but I have birds, I have hummingbirds, I have different butterflies and things like that naturally are always around, and then they go away. Other things start coming out right now, but there's just nature is starting to shift, and I'm not in an area even where we lose our leaves, but you can see where things are starting to become wintered. They're weatherizing themselves naturally. And so when you see that in the plants that are naturally around you, that's a calling like, oh, it's a reminder. Like I have some tropical plants in my front yard, and this time of year, they don't thrive. They're all wilted and dried up, and if they get frostbite, we have to protect them and all that stuff. So it's just different, but you can feel it. You feel the earth beneath you going, it's time to rest.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting because my power animal is bear. And
Hmm.
we made contact when I first started training in shamanic studies, probably over 15 years ago. And she didn't do nothing other than eat and rest, eat
Hmm.
and rest, eat and rest. And that was the message, right? Like I've always been kind of a go, go, go personality and stretching myself thin and like over giving to others. And Bear's just like, we're just going to eat the berries and then we're going to rest. And then we're going to eat the fish and then we're going to rest. Like that was the message for me. Like, just eat the things and rest. And so I always have appreciated Bear's quiet underlying wisdom for me constantly. Like, where are we resting? Like yesterday, I had no physical awareness of a need where I would need a nap. And I was like, I need to take a nap. And I lied down and took a nap. Like I had plenty of sleep the night before, but there is definitely um, this call to be like, let your body do what it needs to do.
Yeah.
And if that is eating the warm, nourishing soups or taking a rest or reading a book or journaling, like all of those, I don't know, introspective, internal, it feels very supportive for where we're at in this
Yeah,
season.
I think so too. I'm curious to know, like, because I also believe on the other side, we're spiritually doing work at this time of year too. So I think our bodies need to rest so that we can be doing other things energetically or whatever, you know. Um, so it is filling into that too, because knowing when we're sleeping, our body's sleeping, but we're not sleeping, like our conscious isn't sleeping like that. So what else are we doing that this time of year is so important? Like,
Right?
is it a more spiritually advanced, like active time, and then our body is resting because of that? Or, you know what I mean?
That's a really good curiosity because I think that there's some truth in that because I think there's a lot of things going on currently, whether it's with these dang solar flares or
Oh,
the
yes.
all of these planets in retrograde or the Schumann resonance. Like there's all kinds of things happening both from the sun and the earth and everything in between where things are feeling really kind of intense. We just had our 11/11 portal, like all of these things are happening. And what's your reaction to it? Right? Like, I think there's a
Mhm.
lot going on, whether subconsciously or consciously. And it's the rest that we need to help integrate and energetically up level our, I almost want to say like biosphere, like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's like we're upgrading our DNA and our like crystalline body and all of that because we have to. Because everything is changing around us. The earth is changing, so we have to evolve with that too. And I think that you're right with that is the integration right now of what everything that's going on, because that's what everyone's talking about. It's like I had class last week, and then the students are like, I'm just feeling retrograde. It was in my master class and for archetypes, and they're like, check in, how are you feeling? They're like, this retrograde. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. And half the class felt like that, and I'm like, oh, I get that. So people are way more in tune to that, what's happening out there versus just what's happening around them.
Yeah. Right. And I think that that's why there's this consistent invitation during this season to really start, if you haven't yet started, to slow down. I had a student on last night where she is one of those go, 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 over serve her family. She's in survival mode constantly, right? And
Mhm.
it's this, where can you cut out 5 minutes for yourself? Where can that turn into 20? Can that be an hour? Like where are you at and what can you say yes to for your rest, for your rejuvenation, right? This is the time to let ourselves be quiet. And so she was telling the class about this class she takes once a week. I'm like, have you ever thought of just taking a nap instead of going in? Like I'm gonna invite that invitation of, You could, if you have that 1 hour a week or whatever it may be, and your body is calling for rest, take it however you can,
Yeah.
right?
Because this is where burnout comes from.
Exactly.
A lot of times people aren't recognizing that they too are in full burnout because they're not resting. They aren't in alignment with what's going on. And so we have to listen. Our body is highly intelligent, way more intelligent than our thought process. So we really have to listen to what it has to say and what it's speaking to us. And so if that doesn't come into our awareness, and then we burn out and then we feel sick and we feel all this stuff is going on. Why is that happening? Because we're not in any natural flow. We're just going, going, going. And yes, like putting everyone else's needs before our own, which isn't, that's not filling us up either. And that's not right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where are those places and spaces that you're truly resting? And for me, it really is my afternoon nap sometimes. Like
Heck yeah. Those are
I
good.
I love it. I love it. There was a study that came out not too long ago that showed that you were less likely to have heart attacks if you took a nap every day. And I was like, everyone should be taking naps.
Yes. Yeah. I'll like on a side note of listening to our body. So I have this bracelet that I've been wearing. It's a protective bracelet, and I'll show you. And I've had it on for a while. I think it served its purpose and it's done because I've been having like this pain, and I'm like, okay, why is that happening? Why is this arm aching? And right now it's like, take the bracelet off, it's done.
Ooh,
And now I feel the energy opening up.
yeah. Isn't that
Yeah.
like, well, and it goes to show like if we can take a moment to quiet ourselves and listen, our
Yeah.
bodies are trying to speak to us,
Yes.
you
And
know,
I
and
feel so much chills in my like everything. Oh, this is like actually I'm going through it right now. It's like taking off like a bondage or like it did its job. It's done. It served its purpose and I'm good. I can go cleanse that and release it. I'll probably go bury it later in the ground.
yes. Well,
Oh
and
yeah.
I love that example for all of our listeners. Like, notice, like, I remember I'd get clients coming into studio and they'd come in for a Reiki session. They're like, do I need to take off all of my necklaces? Like, they would be wearing these giant crystals, right? I'm like, yeah, but you need to give them all to me and let me energetically clear them, right? And
Yeah.
so they would be like, it felt like 5 pounds of jewelry, and I'm energetically clearing them off, and then they would put them back on. They're like, oh my God, it's so much lighter. Right?
Yes,
So
because they're working jewelry. It worked. The stones are doing their job and yes, yes, yes.
yeah. Yeah.
Very
So it's
good.
like, where are we really done with the cycle? Like, I love that you mentioned that, yeah, I'm gonna go clear this and bury it.
Hmm.
I think, I don't think that too often people recognize how powerful that action is. Of
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna take the thing and bury it. When we're done with our money bowls, let's not just throw it out in the trash. Let's go bury the content,
Yes.
right? Let's go bury the things. Let the earth compost it, whatever is that was released in whatever ceremonial objects that we're using. Can we go bury it? And I just think that there are so many different places and spaces where I find spiritual objects in particular, like they've done their job, they're really complete. And the best thing that we can do with them is to give them back to the earth.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And noticing like how I've had a few things like where my best friend who moved from here to Arkansas, her very last night here, she came over and we were going to do some readings and I pulled out my selenite wand and it was literally split in half, like perfect cut. And I was like, whoa. So I gave her half and I took half. But see, it's like that shows up for us. But some people who are like, oh, that's just a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. I'm all about like what's speaking to you and what's your synchronistic message on that. And so to me, it was like, yeah, we're always staying connected. You have a piece of one part and I have the others, kind of like those old heart necklaces.
Yeah, the little best friend necklaces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're my bestie for life, which I
Hmm.
think we have that too.
Yeah.
But it's just really recognizing and coming back to our topic of just noticing what is speaking to you around you, and are you going to use your inner wisdom to listen, or do you just bypass it? Because I think a lot of times we're just bypassing our own self and our own messages and not stopping and saying, you know what, I'm because we hold on to things so tightly. And it really is, it's and like release it, let it go. Whatever's meant to stay will stay. Whatever's meant to happen is going to happen. It's holding on to it doesn't make it stronger. It actually makes it weaker. It makes us weaker.
Right. Yeah, there's a bit of that imagery of burying yourself. Like if you're really going to go into the earth, like I've done shamanic journeys and I know in many different ancient indigenous cultures, there is like a burying of the body, like
Hmm.
we're going into our own internal deaths. And then as you come out of the earth, it's this rebirth, like this very symbolic process, ceremony. And it's like when energetically I love going to the lower world and energetically being like, I am burying myself in the earth and whatever needs to be released to the soil, like you can just feel layers coming off of you, composting right around you. You can feel the worms and all the other insects that are composting your body so that you can be rebuilt again,
Yeah.
right? And that might sound really intense, and it is. It's not a beginner's process, but there is something really beautiful about this complete surrender of self to Mother
Mhm.
Earth, to Gaia, and say, take what no longer serves me, build me back in your image and what is going to serve you to the highest good, and let the process happen. Right.
Yeah.
And so, what part of winter are we really actually surrendering and letting go of that anxious desperation of not knowing if we are going to have enough to survive the winter? Can we trust that we've done all that we needed to do in preparation? That we know, like we know, like we know, that not only survival is guaranteed, but thriving is guaranteed.
Yes. At work, well, at the center where I'm at, it's interesting because as we get into these last 3 months, the buzz talk around there is like, okay, the holidays are coming, as the winter is coming, and all of that, it actually gives us practitioners like permission to relax, like to tune into ourselves, to not be so busy and know that it's okay if the clients don't, like if we're not overly busy and all that. It literally gives people the okay and the permission to be flexible, to stay home if they want to stay home. Like we're not open if it's pouring rain out there. It's okay. Like our gates shut. You like stay home, don't be on the road. And I really like that because the first couple years it was like to me it was kind of like, well, but people need us when they need us. But when I realized, no, this is an actual like time for us to say, people stay home. It's okay. Like you can call us, we're here. There's distance work and all of that, but we don't always have to be in each other's space like that because I think that's part of it too is we have our community, but sometimes we also need to go do our individual work. And you can't do that if you're always together.
Yeah. Right.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, and I noticed too that like oftentimes things are, I think this is a good segue into the holidays are upon us.
Yeah.
And the request from so many individuals is to gather together and gather together and gather together and recognizing where you have energy for that and where you don't, and
Mhm.
not saying yes to all of the things. Like in my spiritual community, I'm part of I'm a partner in the Bozeman Spiritual Society, and we have a collective space and we try to do events together. And there was some chat about doing some more events, and I just started crying this morning. It's like, I just already feel so overwhelmed. Like I can't take on any more than that, what's already on my plate, and
Mm.
recognizing like where are the places and spaces that you are saying there's a full body yes, yes, I want to do this, and where is there like no, where's where
Yeah.
is that energetic, I want to draw my energy back and pull inward because it's not in alignment or not, or that it's just there's just too much of a request, right? Like I love these people. I love doing things with them. I love having potlucks with them. I love all the things, and I just can't put any more into it at this point in time.
And does it all fall on you to
No,
do? Oh, okay.
no, not at
It's just
all.
for you just to show up.
Just for me to show up. Like I often am the one to make like the Facebook events and things for that group. And
Mm.
it's like, it doesn't have to be that way. Why can't everyone make their own individual events? Like it doesn't need to be this way. But
Yes.
um, but yeah, it's very recognizing where in my life is it really a full like, yes, I want to do this, let's say winter solstice event, or I want to do this new moon circle, or whatever I want to put my energy into, and where does it feel like maybe that's not the thing at this season. Maybe this isn't the thing that I want to be doing right now. And
Mhm.
recognizing there's some wisdom in your body is trying to tell you where it's okay to pull back and to rest in.
Yeah. Yeah. And then maybe that's the revamping of it at, the beginning of the year to say, okay, you know what? I mean, you say your no's now where you need to, but then you can come back to the drawing board and say, maybe we can restructure this because, yeah, it's a lot of work to do for however many people, when everyone can create their own.
Right. Yeah, so it's just kind of like a very interesting recognition of what are we doing and why are we doing it?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
where are we allowing ourselves to have enough space of no's in our life so that we have a blank slate, we have a spirit of surrender so that we can let the divine inspiration into our world, right? If we fill up our calendar so much, where can divine inspiration show up and be like, this is what I want you to be doing? This is the calling. This is what's here for you. And if there are so many people, myself included, I have a real history of like filling up the calendar and making sure it's really full all of the time when there needs to be blank space. There needs to
Mm-hmm.
be that rest. There needs to be that integration of all of the lessons from the previous season. And where are we creating silence and quiet to allow new inspiration to come through?
Yeah. And that is really important to be able to have that empty space that not so because space is never empty, but to be able to have that time within yourself to integrate all the things and to so you can receive the messages within yourself, so you can connect with your guides, so you can walk a different journey. And sometimes that's what we need to do. Doesn't mean everything has to shift. It means something shifts, and that one shift then has like that repeating, everything kind of shifts with it, but in the highest good for yourself, not just like I'm cutting it all out, but it's like, what can we readjust here to create space for more growth,
Yes.
really? Because
Yeah.
it is all about growing. It's not like we don't want to, totally take ourselves out. And that's not what we're talking about. But where can our growth edge be? Where is it? Where's that
Right.
moment?
Oh my God, I love that. I love like in that edge. I feel like I'm always towing that line of like, where is it now? Like as you were speaking, I was thinking like, oh, silent retreat would be amazing this time of year, right?
Oh, that would be, huh?
Right. Well, and the vision that came to me was like, it's not a sit still and be silent. It's a move and be silent. Like, how can we move our bodies with dance and these different activating actions that we offer, but it all in silence? And then you have these journaling and then this time for to draw your oracle cards and have a Reiki share where literally there is no words. We're just sharing energy. Like I can see that, like yeah, it's just like as I'm talking about, we need to create space for inspiration. I'm like, oh, that would be so cool. I'd love to do that.
As you're sharing that, I'm thinking, I got new moon tomorrow. I might be like implementing some of that. I've actually been implementing moments of silence in integration after an attunement. Like
Mhm.
we're just in silence because I'll do like a group attunement, right? And those who are very chatty in the head want to pop up. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
we're in integration after a sound bath. take your time. Don't just pop up off the mat and, like, no, integrate this energy. And us as the facilitators, we're not going to have a lot to say to you. We're going to be closing our circle. We're going to ask you how you're doing, if there's some shares. Other than that, the lights aren't coming on. We're very like intentional of how it is, but it didn't start like that. And it's like you start to watch how do people react when they're integrated versus the ones that pop up and go, right? And you see the ones who pop up and go have a really hard time sitting with themselves.
Right. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
So it's
Absolutely.
having those moments as facilitators to say, this is a moment just to be, and it's okay.
Yeah, we our class in Intro to Tantra master class last week, we did a breathwork practice, a very intense 15-minute breathwork practice. And then
Ooh,
we
nice.
took 10 minutes of silence, 10 minutes of rest, 10 minutes of no talking. And it's amazing what happens when you're in a vigorous breathwork practice and then you allow your body to shift in the moments afterwards. It's like you shake everything up and everything gets jostled. Anything that's ready to lift off of your body emotionally, physically, spiritually is available. Like it's all at the surface and then you just lie down and you witness yourself in, am I having visions? Am I connecting with source? Am I feeling the tingle sensations in my body? How is the energy moving? And what's settling back in?
Yeah.
What is a yes for me in the silence of integration?
hmm
It's so yummy, it's so
It
juicy.
is so yummy. And I would love it for people to let us know if you're going to actually take a moment of silence for yourself, like let us know in the community. Like if you do that for yourself, let us know here in the chat. Like, do you give yourself enough time to integrate your thoughts, your emotions, the projects that you're working on, right? Like, do you release or walk away from certain relationships or situations and then you just jump onto the next thing? Or do you give yourself that time? And I think that integration is such an important energetic, like it rewraps everything up. I feel like, it's like that full package. If we don't integrate, we kind of it's like you're leaving the bow off of all the work or something, like you're leaving, you just got a box. Like wrap it up, make it pretty. It's all good. And I feel like that's what integration does for us
Right.
because that's where like the meat of like the real juicy part of what we just did is all about because that is where those messages come in, those little nudges within ourselves.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So it's an invitation of like, do you have space in your home, that sanctuary space that you can
Yeah.
create for yourself and recognize as I sit here, I can, and in giving myself permission to take my moment of stillness, a moment of silence,
Yeah.
right? And how often are you going to that place?
Yes, we need to go to that place all the time because even our altars, they're living altars. We have to work with them. We have to go to them and sit with them and move things around and bring in new energy. And like you were saying, the money bowls, like they don't last all year. Like the energy, you got to keep them alive and change out their like the rice and the herbs and everything at least every season.
Mhm.
If not month. I mean, I don't change mine monthly, but I do each season. Um, and they talk to you. Like
Mhm.
when I walk past them, kind of like the bracelet, like, hello, you're ignoring us. How are we going to create abundance if you're not putting the energy here? And so it is important. I've had a lot of guidance to pick up a project lately, and it became more. And I'm creating this journal for my level ones, and I'm almost done with it. But man, it became a bigger project than I thought. And now I'm like, okay, so, but I feel in the parts because I'm taking it one piece at a time. So as one part's opening up, I'm letting that energy integrate. I'm doing what I need to do there. So I can take in the other and shift that energy because it is three parts. So yeah, it's just I'm doing redoing a lot of my stuff, which I've needed to for a long time.
And it
And
sounds like
now
you might be writing a book and don't even know it.
yeah, kind of. I think I'm Well, I'm redoing all of my level manuals
Mhm.
and which I've needed to. And so with that, I'm creating like the support system of the 21 days and that kind of thing. And so there's yeah, it is kind of writing a book without knowing it. But it's it's interesting because it wasn't something I had planned. It was something I woke up to.
Right.
And you need to go do that. Okay. And then I'm doing it and I'm like, this is way bigger than I thought. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
I'm feeling that for sure.
so I just feel like my guides are up there in non-body, like just create. And I'm like, okay, here in the physical world,
Yeah.
you can't just whip something out like that. You got to put time in it every day. And so, yeah, I find that very interesting.
Right. I'm curious about writing projects for winter. Like I think this is a
Mhm,
really great time to do writing projects. I know, and maybe our followers have noticed, but I'm doing a lot more writing. I'm
mhm.
offering a lot more writing pieces than I have in the past. And I feel like there's this definite call for me to share more intimately and vulnerably and and actually put it in written material. And I've always thought that, I'm not a writer. Like I don't feel like
Yeah,
I'm a writer. I might be a storyteller, but I don't necessarily like to write. It takes quite a bit of effort for me to feel comfortable with a piece. And doing these little blogs or these little posts, like, is just the starting of like me getting comfortable because I know a bigger something is coming. And I'm like, okay, if I can just do this a couple times a week, I'm working my way through that internal story that I just have writer's block or I'm not good at this or whatever it is. So uh
yeah.
yeah, so thanks to all of our listeners out there watching the written material that we're putting out here at Moon Rising as well.
Yeah, I think it's that writing archetype that's coming alive, in you and when we don't feel like, okay, I'm not a writer. Well, yeah, but if it's being imprinted on you, there's something that's meant to come forward. And that's where we're talking like that surrender and that integration and the understanding of going within. Do we fight that fight? Like, no, I'm not a writer. Or can we allow the vulnerability to come through and the words to come out? I used to write a lot. And then when I kind of shut down my own like personal Facebook page and everything, um, because in the beginning, when I really started this work, I was always like, but it didn't at the time it wasn't in sync with the people that I was friends with on there. You know what I mean? I needed a new group, a new following
Mhm.
that I can. And now I feel like I'm in that place where I can be vulnerable. I can say and people understand. They're not coming at me like, what are you talking about?
Right. Yeah, you've been in your own energy solidly for like a long enough period of time where you're no
Yeah,
longer getting the pushback from your previous, past relationships, like, and
yeah,
so it's really interesting when you find yourself continuously saying yes to being of service of the divine. The
yeah,
more I say yes, the more I lean in, the more guidance I receive, the more I find myself in people who are ready to be receptive to it.
yes. That is the full alignment. That is the alignment, right? And that's where I'm like the pushback before was because they weren't in alignment. They
Right.
just weren't where I was. Now they might be on some level, more awake and open now. I don't know, but in the moment they weren't. And so it was very interesting. And so it was just like, okay, well, this isn't the platform for that. And so when you create a new platform and that alignment comes forward, man, that feels so good
It does.
because you really feel like you can show up and be fully authentic.
Well, and I think too, it's like there's an invitation for others to do the same.
Yep.
And in doing so, it's like watching communities also awaken to their own alignment. And I feel like I'm in a bit of like, all right, Bozeman, come on. Like you can do it. And I feel like we're slowly getting there. But like I also see your community and see where you were 2 years ago, right? Like I
Mhm.
feel like you kept showing up, you kept doing the things, and now your community is a full yes in that growth phase, you know.
Yeah. And it does. It takes, what I've recognized 2 to 3 years. And
Mhm.
not just for work, for anything. People who move, who transplant from one state to another, they go through this growth spurt for about 2 to 3 years before they
Yeah,
feel home, like they're
right,
at home. And so just witnessing that and other people's growth and their transitions, I'm like, oh, it does. It's kind of like that 3 day energy, right? Well, now we're just stretching it out. It's 3 months, it's 3 years, kind of thing. Um, so we can expect things like some things can be really fast energy, but most of it isn't. It's more slow and steady, and you're building up. And it's the universe asking you, are you going to show up for this or not?
right,
Or are you just going to fall flat because, it's been too many months out or it's a lot of work? Because if you actually show up, it's going to show up for you.
right.
Hmm.
Ah, so yummy. And so it can be, and it's hard, to keep pulling ourselves back from the fear, keep pulling ourselves back from being afraid of the darkness and what might bubble to the surface, right?
Hmm.
And so there is that invitation of the season two of like, we're going into the dark. And as
Yeah.
we enter into the dark, we pass through that journey into the darkness. It's like, where are those fears arising? And where are we ready to say, I'm no longer allowing this to control who I am and how I show up in the world, right?
Yeah.
How can the darkness be your teacher?
Hmm. And this is the season of the teacher. Actually, in the archetype realm, this is the season of the teacher. Our shadow self is what you're basically talking about is we're going into the dark of ourselves, into our shadow work. And, so a lot of people, I think they avoid, they don't want that. But yes, the teacher is showing up because we have to learn about ourselves. Ultimately, that's what we're here for, is to be learning about ourselves or what we're going through. And are we going to learn those lessons from the whole year? So there's a lot to it. But I
Yeah,
loved all that. Yes, we are.
right.
The shadow of self, right?
Well, and sometimes if you're just starting your spiritual work, just starting your spiritual journey, and there's that fear that arrives, recognizing that within yourself, it's okay to gather your strength as your inner warrior. Like fight your demons if they're showing up as demons. Like recognizing that place in your space that you are sovereign, you have the internal power to push back your internal darkness. And then as you move through that process, you can then allow the darkness to come in one at a time and see it as the shadow, that an aspect of yourself that you can love on more fully. But I often see it where you have to go through this patterning of, I gotta fucking gear up. I gotta be all of who I am. I've got to find my strength and courage to fight the demons, all of that pressure of, and because a lot of people are seasonally affected by depression and anxiety and all these things of like, how can you gather your strength and call on your heavy lifters? I cannot stress this enough. Call on your guides, call on Archangel Michael, call on Shiva, whoever it is for you. I don't care who it is. But
Yeah.
if you give an entity that's greater than yourself the encouragement and welcoming to come fight on your behalf, you're creating this space around you to know that you're safe in it, right?
Yeah.
And when you have your guides, your spirit team around you that you can feel safe in the darkness, then you can start looking at the shadow. So it doesn't always have to be this. I think that there's a lot of people who are just seeing demons. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's our internal demons. It's the things that are are pressing in so hard that how can I get out? How can I escape it? Right?
Hmm.
And so when we actually recognize I need help, I
I
need
need
support.
support.
And that is so hard just to get to that point of going, I am worthy to ask for support, whether it's physical, hey, I need a mentor, I need a session, or I need to call on this guide, this archangel, this whoever. And then you feel the energy and power with you. Then you really feel solid and secure and your ability to surrender and let go.
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's
It
process.
is, and then it gives us it is possible. Absolutely. Um, and we're proof of that. We're testimonies of that, because I mean, I know in myself starting this journey, I was very much in my shadow. There was a lot of shadow work I had to go through. And going through that now, and looking back on that, is there still stuff that pops up? Of course. There's always going to be those layers, but the depth of it has been healed in a lot of ways because I didn't shy away from it. I didn't let that fear get a hold of me and say, no, I can't do this. I actually I faced it. And
Mhm.
that is like the power of even tuning into like, where are we energetically? Where are we like in our frequency of our chakras? Like, because as you're moving from root up, the root carries so much.
Mhm.
It carries so much of our shadow self and moving forward and to each one of them and unpacking that. It's important to do the work. And if you don't, that's where we become like the naysayers and this doesn't work and that doesn't work and who wants to do that kind of stuff. Well, yeah, because you don't want to face yourself.
Well, you don't
But if
want
you
to be,
don't know you and
yeah,
you don't face you, who can you face?
right, right. It's that wanting to stay in your comfort zone
Yeah.
and if you stay in your comfort zone, you can't ever grow. You can't ever meet your growth edges, right? I
Hmm.
am like, as much as I desire a break sometimes, I want to just have my comfort zone of the warm blankets and the hot cup of soup or whatever. There's also this and I think this is just innately who I am, and I love being around other people who also have this in their nature of I desire consistent growth. I'm always trying to find where am I, what does this conversation reflect of about who I am? Is that in alignment with me? What am I listening to? How can I um grow in that or try something new? Or where is it really outside my comfort zone? And what does that mean? If this
Yeah.
is really outside my comfort zone, what does that mean? And some things you should just leave the fuck alone, right? They're just be
Yes.
right. It's not
Some
that,
red flags, just let that go.
right? And so
Yeah.
it's not that we need to always be on that line or cross that line into our triggers and traumas and all this stuff. That's not what we're saying. It's recognizing what in you is ready to say, I am ready for alignment. I'm ready for love. I'm ready for self-acceptance. I am ready to be all that I am, and recognizing what is my yes and what's my no,
Hmm.
right? And so it's how can we make more yeses in our life that are calmly said yes to,
Yeah, that feels like flow versus a challenge. Because if
right?
you feel challenged when you're saying yes, that typically means that's right there. That's a warning to self. This isn't in alignment with me right now for
Right.
whatever reason. In natural mysticism, we call it, it's that stretch and challenge. And so I always see that that's that rubber band. You're being pulled taut, you're being pulled back to be able to project forward. But in that stretch, you're all about seeing the different stages of yourself that you're talking about, like getting each shadow, and you're doing it in phases, not
Right.
like all at once, because
Right.
it would be too much.
Right.
It'd be too much. So it is taking it one step at a time. It's giving yourself permission to be open to it and at the same time rest from it. Doesn't mean you're full-fledged with it. Sometimes you can do it in parts. It doesn't have to be all I'm in shadow for the next however many months. Nope. Tell your guides too. I need a break. It's
I need to
okay.
slow down.
Communicate. Slow it down. Yes. I'm
Yeah.
only available during this time.
Right. And giving it that time. I think that's
Yeah.
why a lot of people fill in their calendars so much because they don't want to give any of it any time. If they know that if they get quiet, so much stuff is going to be rushing forward. And this is the difference between battling your demons and doing shadow work, right?
Yes.
It's that overwhelming pressure of everything coming at you at once feels like now I'm fighting demons versus I know I have created a safe space. I have a container for myself. I have a time frame. I know what my boundaries are. I have my spirit team with me. I have a ritual in place. I have these things so that as things come to the surface, they're going to bubble up slowly and not all at once.
Hmm.
Right? And I think
And you
that's
have
why,
your whole toolbox ready and prepared to
right,
do the work.
right.
Yeah.
And that's why I love Soul Rising so much is because that's what we're doing. We're like, let's take it one baby step at a time.
Yeah.
It's like people come in and they're like, I have all of these walls that I need to break down. And it's like, well, it's your choice if you want to take a bulldozer and knock over the whole wall, or if you want to take a brick off at a time, right?
Yeah.
And what's going to be most in alignment and beneficial for you. And you have the free will to decide how you're going to handle your wall, if that's the imagery and metaphor you want to use.
Yes. Yeah. It's so important. And with soul rising, with, the master classes that we offer here, with our own personal journeys that we do, it really is. It's how do you want to hit that wall? How do you want to embrace it? Is it one brick at a time? Is it the whole wall? Are you taking half of it down so you can see above the, above the wall, get some new vision? However we want to embrace it, it's really up to us. And nobody can do it for us. We all have to do it for ourselves, but you can do it within a safe container. And you can do it with creating your own, like we were talking about, setting everything up, asking for the support. It's all good. But we
Right,
have to start somewhere. Otherwise, it really can chew you up.
right,
So,
right. And I think that's where it's like, please keep in mind it is okay to ask for help. Like if you
yeah,
need mentorship, if you need to jump on a call and figure out what programs we offer that might be in alignment for you, like know that is support out there and going which route is going to be best for you. Like I currently have clients that are like, I'm doing this for me, myself, and I don't want to be a part of a group experience. And I'm like, cool. Right? Like if that's where you're at and you know that you want to take the time to go that approach, I'm all for it. I love those types of clients. And I absolutely love our group programs. And I love doing one-off sessions. Like I love all of it because I feel like it's a place and space that I hold well, right? Like I love holding containers for others to find their place of alignment. Needs to be shed? What needs to be let go of? How do we want to get there? We have so many tools and techniques to help you get into that flow state. And is it a one and done session? Maybe. Does it take 10? Maybe. Does it take a year? Maybe. Like
yeah.
there's no black and white rule. And those that pitch that out there in the world, like here's your 5 steps to spiritual enlightenment. I
You're like, I call bullshit.
I'm calling bullshit.
I call bullshit.
There is no cookie cutter anything.
No.
There's not. Everyone's path is going to be uniquely yours. And we want to support you in finding whatever path that looks like for you and supporting you through it. And I think that's why I just love, love, love what we do and how we do it here because we give permission to our students. It's like, if you want to call on Jesus, call on Jesus. Like, go for it. If that fills you up, awesome. You want to go to a Buddhist temple and meditate once a week? Awesome. Do that. If you want, like, we have so much permission included in how we offer things at Moon Rising that it's like, here's some more tools. Use the ones that feel good to you. There is no cookie cutter. You have to do it this way.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. And so as we're wrapping it up, like also just as a gentle reminder, as you're moving further into fall, more into winter, give yourself that break. Go ahead and go within your own internal den, your own internal cave, and ask yourself, what do I need now that's going to help serve me?
that's
And
it.
embrace it, embody it
Every day. What can I
every
do
day.
today? What can I say yes to
Yep, just for today, right?
just for today? Ah, yum. All right. Well, as the whispers of wisdom awaken to I said it wrong. Do you have it memorized yet? I still don't have it memorized yet. I'm just gonna
As
butcher
the
it
whispers
now.
of wisdom rise within.
Nope.
No,
Like, I think we might have to maybe it's a calling for us to reevaluate that because it just doesn't stick. As
it
much as I want
doesn't.
it just doesn't stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, on that note, we are going to self-love and accept ourselves. We're going, you know what? Chantel and I have tried to make that phrase work now for a long time. And we're going to give our permission to love ourselves and just say, we love you guys. We love that you show up. We love that you're doing the work. We love that you consistently listen and be available for what's in alignment for you. So thank you all for listening so much. And until next time, have a wonderful rest of your week. Take care.
Love you all. Bye.